Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chuckie, here as always with my fellow authority figure, the boy.
Hey.
And this is the Two Nerds Podcast. Before we get started with everything, as usual, I'm going to pare it down here, alright? Just, if you could, subscribe if you haven't already, and give us a like. It's the little thumbs up down there in the thing. You're not going to add this video to your favorites list, that's fine. You don't want to follow us on Twitter, whatever. But if you could subscribe and like, that really, really helps us out. Also, to extend our gratitude to Super Blizzard for his Shining Was Auto track, Let's Get Hardcore. If you can follow the link in the description and send him some moolah, buy up some of his songs, chances are if you listen to this, you love wrestling. He loves wrestling too. He writes cool songs about wrestling. That would be awesome. Let's get into it because I am coming off of being rather ill and my throat is worthless.
And I've been up for about 23 hours, so...
And this is a pretty good pay-per-view all around. So, I mean, if we don't fill the full hour, well, there's always next week, right?
Yep. And he's not wrong. This was a perfectly cromulent pay-per-view, pretty good, well above standard show quality. There were things wrong with it. Obviously, we'll get into those, I'm sure, but...
Now, just in case you've accidentally been snookered here and cannot see what you are listening to, we're talking about Survivor Series.
2014 Survivor Series, WWE. That stands for World Wrestling Entertainment.
They're a company where wrestling happens. I wanted to go further, but my voice is really shitty.
Yeah. But I liked most of the matches. The matches that were less interesting to me were real surprises. There's one match I'm salty about, and we'll get to it.
Yeah. I've heard some rumors about that one. We'll get to it. Let's start at the top of the card. What's going on?
Top of the actual card. We're not going to do the pre-show stuff because we didn't watch it, so
Nope.
I don't want to comment on it. Miz, Damian Sandow, Goldust, and the Dustbusters, Goldust and Stardust. The Usos, Los Matadores. They were in a fatal four-way tag team match. You could tag in any member of any team, and whoever got the first pinfall or submission wins.
I'd say this was my match of the night.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really high energy. It was really fast-paced. They had fun with it. The wrestlers seemed to be having a great time. The audience was having a great time.
The only way this match would have been better if it was traditional Lucha Libre rules. And if when somebody got dumped out of the ring, somebody else could pop in. I think that would have made things more exciting. I understand why they didn't do it, because nobody here fucking knows what Lucha Libre rules are.
And it's too hard to follow for American audiences, because they're not educated in what it is.
No, but that would have made it a lot more fun. There were a lot of opportunities to capitalize on something like that, where in that space they did nothing.
Because they didn't have anything to do. But, barring that one, sort of nitpicky complaint, which I agree with.
No, it's not a complaint. I just think that could have made it better.
Yeah.
They could have made a great match
Sort of a way to improve on an already good match. And it was very good. Some of my favorite bits from it were the Dustbusters, their business. They were having a great night. They acted like heels. It was
the Miz thing was pretty cool, where they would cheer for Miz Dow. And
that's what I was getting. That's what I was going to mention next. Was exactly that. Miz Dow is now over as a face. It's just because he's so fucking hilarious. So the whole match they were chanting, "We want Miz Dow, we want Miz Dow." And at first the Miz did a thing where he pointed, like, "You want him? No, you don't get him because I'm a bad guy." Remember?
Oh, I loved that. That's classic heel stuff. That was beautiful.
Later on in the match, Miz finally tagged Miz Dow in, only so that I think it was Stardust could blind tag himself back in off Miz Dow before he got any offense in. Just so.
And then Stardust came in later and he did the tease thing.
Yeah, he did the tease and he went, "No, you don't want Miz Dow, you want Stardust." And the audience booed.
Yeah, it was funny. A really great match. It was nice to see Los Matadores being treated as legitimate competitors.
Yeah. It was also nice to see, and you've heard us bitch on the last couple pay-per-view podcasts we do about how the fucking tag team scene in WWE is so stale. This was a great way to liven it up.
Yeah.
This was a great move. This was a great call. and I think it worked really, really well. Do you want to skip to the finish?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say here except for fucking blowing these guys. Miz and Mizdow go over on a...
Miz and Mizdow go over. I forget what move it was.
I don't even think it was anything crazy. Miz just hit him with something.
Miz just hit him with something. Off a surprise, like they devolved into chaos as every WWE tag team match eventually does, and the Usos will go flipping around off every rope that's possible. And then it just, like, there's people going back and forth in the ring. No one's really sure who the legal man is. It gets cleared up who the legal people are. Miz is one of them. He blindsides the other guy, knocks him out. As he hits the turnbuckle from the blind side, Mizdow tags himself in and gets the pin. And the fans erupt. They were so happy. And
I liked it. I liked it because it was a stuntman move.
Yeah, it was very much, all right, it's like you got your money shot in. Let me do the grunt work. This is my end of the bargain. And then Miz takes both tag team titles and goes celebrating with both tag team titles, and then Mizdow goes around celebrating with pretend tag team titles that he's holding.
I like that he was perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, he wasn't mad or anything. He was like, yeah, all right, I got my titles too. And Miz would hold up his title, everyone would boo. Sandow would hold up his fake title, everyone would cheer. The audience was having a great time with it.
Yeah, it was good audience this show too. That helped.
Yeah. An audience that's not into it is really going to kill the show, and this audience was definitely into what was going on. The next match was, it's noted here as Team Fox, that being Alicia Fox, Emma, Naomi, and Natalya, versus Team Paige, Cameron, Layla, and Summer Rae. Okay, you've heard me talk about a couple podcasts. You've heard him talk about a couple podcasts, wrestling-wise. What do you think our opinion was of this match?
I kind of liked it. We can't hear them, so I'm not.
I wanted to give them some time to think, to really consider.
No.
And it was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It wasn't anything special, but it wasn't bad.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to be coughing through this whole thing. I've got a lozenge, but it can only do so much. I didn't like Alicia Fox. That goes without saying, really.
Yeah, she's going to kill someone.
Layla wasn't trying. Like, even during her entrance, the little twisty thing she does, she, half-assed, whatever. And I can't blame her, but,
Yeah, she barely gets any TV time. I'm sure she's not getting compensated very well.
Emma botched a couple of moves early on. It wasn't anything major. Nothing like Alicia Fox gonna kill somebody kind of botch, but it made me go, wait, I thought she was a good wrestler. She made up for it.
Yeah, she made up for it with some really decent chain wrestling and good moves later.
I couldn't give a fuck about Summer Rae in any stretch of the imagination.
Jesus Christ, no.
She was worthless. She was
the load in this match.
Yeah.
But other than that...
Well, no, Alicia Fox was too dangerous to be a load.
Yeah, Alicia Fox is more interesting, because Summer Rae was just boring. Alicia Fox, at least I'm worried for people's health.
I mean, there was one point where Layla was pinning somebody, I don't remember who. She looks straight at the ref, and looks at him, nods, and goes, 1, and as he's counting 1, and then it's over. I mean, beep, beep, boop. Yes, hello, this is Layla. Uh-huh, alright, done, bye.
And she hangs up the phone. Here's the thing. We gave up on this match, and we got drawn back into it, because it was actually a decent match. But we saw who was in the match, and assumed it was going to be bad. So we checked out of this match mentally. We were talking about, other wrestlers. I think we were making jokes.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, we were making jokes about Brock Lesnar. Just completely unrelated.
No, I think they need to know. I had a vision that Brock Lesnar, anytime he's not actually actively wrestling or doing promos or whatever, he's just sitting out in his backyard in that giant ice bath that he's always talking about, that he used to do promos about, just lurking in there. And every now and then he rises up out to see everything's going on. Like
Godzilla waiting in the ocean.
And then back down.
Just gotta make sure ain't no Mudos hanging around.
We kind of checked out. The fucking announce team checked out.
The announce team checked out faster than we did.
Mm-hmm.
They were cracking jokes about old Survivor Series matches and
talking about fucking Doink and the Mean Street Posse.
Yeah, just completely. They were not interested in selling this match. They weren't interested in the match at all.
And here's the problem. I gather, based on hearsay, that there might have been something to what was going on in this match, aside from Paige keeps using people and needs some comeuppance. But I have no clue what it was, because I don't watch Total Divas, because that's not my kind of TV.
And from what I gather from people I know who do watch Total Divas, they cover basically the reason you never see Divas storyline stuff on Raw anymore or SmackDown is because all of that shit is on Total Divas.
And that's nice and everything, but, I mean, we are talking about an announced team that has, in case you're just joining us, Michael Cole.
Yeah.
And not once was I caught up on anything. Like, the most they'll ever give us is, oh, these divas have some beef on Total Divas.
Yeah, they don't cover anything in detail, which is what Michael Cole is known for. He's just so completely checked out of this bullshit. I guarantee he didn't give a shit either.
I mean,
he could not be possessed of less of a fuck about this situation.
Here's the reason I'm upset, okay? Because you know what? You could throw a bunch of NXT guys in there and not tell me anything about them, and I would still be about as, what's going. Okay, all right, that guy's pretty good. But I was really reminded more than won over, because we saw this the first time they actually wrestled, how cool Cameron and Naomi are.
They can go. They got legs, man.
I forget which is which.
Cameron's the heel.
Cameron's the heel?
Yeah, Naomi's the face. Cameron's the one with the blonde streaks.
Okay. I like Cameron. She reminds me of ODB a little bit in her style and in the wrestler. The female wrestler who used to wrestle for TNA. I should clarify. Not the Rapsman. But yeah, her overall attitude and style really reminds me of ODB, and I love ODB. And not so much her promo work, but in the ring I really love her. And I'm always impressed by
Naomi.
She's just very talented.
Like, does not get enough play talented. Could easily be working with Paige and AJ Lee and Natalia in actual wrestling matches, which would be super fun. Okay. Did we cover the finish for this?
One by one, they eliminated everybody on Paige's team, and then it was like 4-on-1 Divas fight against Paige.
And then Paige loses. Look, a fucking clean sweep Survivor Series match is fucking boring. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care what comeuppance Paige needs. I don't care. I don't care if a clean sweep Survivor Series match is always going to be completely fucking dry toast boring. There's no interesting things happening. A clean sweep, like 6-man tag, or a clean sweep, and a clean sweep 10-man tag match that isn't a Survivor Series pay-per-view fucking Survivor Series pedigree match, even that I'd be less salty about. But even if it's regardless whether it's a Divas match or a regular match, I don't care. It's a Survivor Series match. Sell that gimmick. Some people need to survive. Not just a, hey, let's have the faces completely whomp on the heels because good guys, yay, match. That's retarded and bad.
Well, and I speculated that, there's so little time for Divas stuff on the air. If they wanted to move people around, they needed to kind of bury Paige quickly. And that's the way you do it.
Yeah, that was a pretty fucking hard burial.
What's next?
Next is Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose. Okay, look. Now you've heard us talk about Dean Ambrose, and we like him. You've heard me go on and 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 on interminably about how much I love Bray Wyatt. And you're much the same.
Yeah, I like both of those guys.
This was not a great match.
No, it was pretty boring. I was pretty checked out.
I was so checked out, and again, this may be because I've gotten a total of like 5 hours sleep in the last 3 days, and I've been up for about 22 and a half hours.
It's quality podcast material.
Yeah, it's just I'm giving them reasons.
No, I'm not. Carry on.
That may be because of that, but I almost fell asleep. That's how checked out I was.
Just nothing was going on. Okay, now I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I got some other shit to do. My Sundays are busy. And I work today. But, the way we've got our living room set up, I'm sitting at the computer, working on whatever I need to work on. I have perfect eye line on the TV, minimal obstruction. I can hear it, of course. So I look over, I'm like, okay, what's going on? Okay, cool. Okay, what's going on? Okay, cool. The opening tag match? Okay, what's going on? Well, hold on, this looks really good. Alright, the fucking Divas match. Okay, what's going on? Alright, nobody got care about. Okay, what's going on? Oh, wrestling. Well, alright. This match? Okay, what's going on? Fucking nothing.
I was...
Until like the last 5 minutes.
That makes us sound like... Alright. It's a perfectly bog standard Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose matches. There's a couple swerves. They reverse a couple of their signature moves. It's a fucking wrestling match, okay? It is a fucking wrestling match.
I don't know if bog standard Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose match is accurate. Those guys are better than the show they put on.
It seems so limited. It seems like they were being curtailed because you know what? Again, I may have actually fallen asleep, but I don't remember them leaving the ring.
Not really.
I don't remember them doing any of the things.
Stairs got knocked over, I think, at some point.
I don't remember them doing any of the things that either of those guys are really known for.
It was tame. Well, okay.
Bray Wyatt did a couple of his mind game things, but even then, not many. And the fucking announce team went completely pants on head retard about the whole gimmick. They're selling that the opposite of correct, even. Like, not even they're selling it badly, they're selling it the opposite of what actually happened in the ring. And it bothers me. But
I mean, this whole match was obviously to sell TLC.
Yeah.
More accurately to sell the network.
It was build up for the next pay-per-view.
And that's fine. You gotta have those sometimes. It just wasn't. Eggs is eggs. This match was meh.
In the end, confusion happens with some chairs. Dean Ambrose gets a hold of a chair. Bray Wyatt does his get on the knees, hit me with the chair. Just give in to your hatred, come to the dark side. And then Dean Ambrose does that because Dean Ambrose isn't fucking John Cena. And then the announcers try and sell it like it was a good thing to do, which is what I'm talking about when I say they're selling it backwards, because that's literally the exact same thing he did to John Cena.
The problem is they treat everything that happens in the WWE like it's happening in a vacuum. And I mean every single isolated incident. And that's exactly what you're saying here. They did this exact same thing with John Cena, and the fact that he resisted was good.
And then they did it with Dean Ambrose, and the fact that he gave in was good.
But not for the reason that it should be good. Okay, yeah, Dean Ambrose hit him with a chair. Because, as Dean Ambrose put it, they are the same. They are cut from the same cloth. That doesn't mean he has to follow Bray Wyatt. But the way the announcers were saying is that they're different.
Yeah, for some reason, Dean Ambrose doing exactly what Bray Wyatt wanted him to do in that situation makes them different. And Dean Ambrose is like the people, not like Bray Wyatt. It's bad.
When half the people are behind Bray Wyatt, I don't understand why they don't just... I mean, they'll mention it offhandedly. Oh, there's certainly a lot of cultists out there tonight. But then they start talking like half their fucking audience isn't sitting at home wearing, sheep masks.
The sheep mask belongs to Eric Rowan. But it's just... This is bad. This is all on the announce team.
Oh yeah, the match was mediocre.
And the wrestlers sold the match they were selling.
It was a bland match, but they sold it.
They sold exactly what they were selling. They put forth a story. It wasn't a story I was particularly interested in, but it was coherent.
It was the second movie in a trilogy.
Yeah, the fucking announcers just are too Saturday morning cartoon for this story. I hate that because it makes me sound lol edgy, and I'm not. It's just... They're trying to paint this as too black and white. This isn't a black and white story. You can't do that. It makes you sound stupid, and it confuses the fucking fans.
See, that's the funny thing. This isn't Saturday morning cartoon. That's the ironic thing. If you look at most of the cartoon shows that are on the air today, most of the real popular stuff, Adventure Time, Steven Universe, My Little Pony, they're treating storylines with maturity. I mean, not like there's nobody's getting fucking their throat slit in an alley with graphic depictions of gore or anything, but people fight against people. People do the wrong thing. Good people make bad choices for the greater good. You know, they tug at the heartstrings, they treat things maturely. WWE is clinging so die hard to this PG mentality.
This, like, not even normal modern PG, fucking full-on Hulkamania 80s PG.
And why is the question I have to ask? Because they got some flack in the 2000s because of suckets and marketing their product toward children by having action figures.
It's more that they feel like they can get the best market share, the biggest share of the market by going PG because that gives you the widest audience. And right now, they are still pretty heavily struggling financially.
Well, and I mean, in terms of the WWE, they're still fucking Titanic, but, you know, they're at that tipping point. You know how wrestling has mattered for the last decade or so? I don't want to see it happen to where wrestling doesn't fucking matter anymore. At the end of the year, we've lost TNA. I mean, they're hanging on by a thread, and I don't see them coming up with anything to fix that, to make a whole sweater. They've already lost Hulk Hogan. They've already lost Sting. They've already lost fucking so much talent. It's just gone.
They're down to Jeff Hardy.
Ric Flair.
They're down to Jeff Hardy and Jeff Hardy's bottle of pills.
Yeah.
And he's good at wrestling that bottle of pills. He wins every time.
I'm a good wrestler. Sure you are. But, you know, that's... And I'm not saying they need to go whole hog and people need to be fucking humping in the middle of the ring or anything like that. I don't like that shit when it happened. You know, there was plenty of gimmicks that I thought, even as a teenager, this is kind of crass.
This is a little...
But there's a fucking middle of the road where you can handle a storyline with some maturity and not have everybody going, nyam, 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 kid gloves. And you see a lot of that in JBL as a commentator. Because, if I may, when Rusev was fighting American of the Week, and they would inevitably lose to Rusev, okay? You know, the American, in terms of what they're selling us, is the face. Rusev is the big bad heel. Face commentators, color commentator and play-by-play commentator, JBL and King, or Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole, are like, oh, well, better luck next time, Rusev is a monster, unstoppable, blah, blah, blah. JBL, who is sort of this weird, bizarro world commentator, because he's not even really a heel.
He's a heel sometimes.
He's a heel
and
it suits him.
And other times he's a ridiculous face, because he's giddy excited when Torito shows up.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of King, but without that moral breaking point. You know, because King would always eventually side with JR when people were getting too blank.
Yeah, King would be a heel commentator until shit went too pear-shaped, at which point he's like, alright, no, I can't. Even I'm with you here. This has gone too far.
But JBL gets, like you said, giddy over Torito, but he hates the fucking bunny.
Hates that bunny.
And, you have to imagine that in character, King and Cole are just staring at him like, what? Who are you?
Are you alright? Do you need medication? But
so he's this gray area guy. USA guy loses. He's not like rah Rusev. He's fuck you USA guy. You fucked up. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy forever.
I mean he's too that because oh god that got fucking annoying.
Oh it did get annoying and there's other annoying parts of that gimmick. But it's a good he does this in other places and it's a good focal point because it's the one that's fresh in my head. So they've got this anchor. They've got somebody on the team who's not afraid or who is scripted as, or whatever the fuck you want to put it as, to be gray.
A dark gray, but still gray. And it's...
I mean, I've said for a long time that the face-heel dynamic of wrestling is all but done.
It's limiting. It's limiting in this day and age. Because in this day and age... Look, kayfabe done been gone for a long, long time, and it ain't never coming back.
And you still have people who buy into it in a weird sort of way, kids especially, but we're even quietly telling them around their no, it's okay, honey, he's an actor, he's not really dead. You know? Don't try this at home, these are trained professionals. On the behind-the-scenes stuff and all the stuff on the network, people are always talking about, kayfabe stuff that they wouldn't have said shit about 10 years ago.
Shit that would have gotten you blackballed from the industry for mentioning 20 years ago.
Shit that probably still makes Ric Flair quake with rage.
Because Ric Flair's old school kayfabe.
He's mad that we know that word.
But
yeah, I'm sorry, my coughing is making my train of thought. Bray Wyatt's a great example of this because he is a heel who is over with the fans. And he's so over with the fans that the fans want to cheer him. But they don't want to cheer Uncle Fuzzy Face Down Home Fun Time Bray Wyatt.
They want to cheer Bray Wyatt.
Because he's an interesting character. It's the same reason people liked... it's the same reason I like most of the characters I do on Game of Thrones.
Not because they're good people, because, well, let's face it, pretty much everyone who's still alive on that show's a cock. Except
for the guy I hate the most.
Yeah, except for Jon Snow, who's a right upstanding young man.
I want to punch him in his stupid, pouty face. But yeah, people are excited to see cool characters. You can't pigeonhole that. You can't force the people to hate a guy just because he's got heel written next to his name in your fucking roster. Stop trying so hard. Just let these guys be themselves.
Let them run storylines. Look, in a lot of storylines, there's going to be a good guy, there's going to be a bad guy. There's going to be someone in the right and someone in the wrong. But that doesn't necessarily have to always be the same people. And
moreover, the good guy doesn't always need to win in the end.
That's not... I don't expect the WWE to do that because that's not how they book.
That's fine. And you know what? If the good guy wins in the end after a while or something, or a good guy wins in the end, that's fine. I mean, that only makes sense. You're transferring heat. That's how that works. But
because a good guy has to win eventually.
Yeah.
Wrestling never really ends.
Right. So, assuming that this occurs in perpetuity, you need to transfer that heat so that both parties can move on to something else. If, for example, the Wyatts had defeated John Cena, then a different good guy, Roman Reigns, could have come along and
Daniel
defeated
Bryan,
the Wyatts.
because Daniel Bryan was still around at that point. Many others would have been perfectly fine. But it's just... the good guy doesn't need to win immediately.
It's why the Authority was such a bad angle for so long. They wouldn't score any big victories. They were worthless.
They'd win a lot of little victories, and they were essentially just schoolyard bullies.
Yeah.
And when, push came to shove, they folded like wet tissue paper. They became a much better angle when they started winning. Because that's the point of a heel GM. They win. They win and they win and they win and they win and they win until they lose, and when they lose, it's this huge cathartic blow-off that everyone loves. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. It's the reason you book that angle. Because if you book it a different way, you're either just making things unfun and the good guys never win, or you are wasting people's fucking time.
And the product you're putting out isn't interesting.
So stop. But
yeah, what's the next match in the card?
Next match is... oh, Jesus fuck. It's the goddamn Adam Rose match. Oh, this is one half of the matches I am salty about. I'm sorry, listener, I was incorrect. There are two matches I'm salty about, but they're for the same reason. Okay, so the storyline has been that the bunny, Adam Rose's bunny, is getting too big for his britches. He's more over than Adam Rose, and Adam Rose is getting salty about it. So he's slowly turning heel while the bunny is slowly getting over as a face. That's the storyline. I'm trying to get this summary done as quickly as possible because this fucking storyline's retarded, so... Anyway, they had a match against Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil. Sidebar, what? Why?
I don't care whatever, Titus O'Neil's hilarious.
Titus O'Neil is fucking hilarious. I will give him that.
There were like 4 jokes he said that went right over the audience's heads.
That had us rolling.
He was funny.
But Seriously though, why?
All right. I got two guys.
Fucking throw in a tag team. Straight up tag team match.
Yeah.
Teddy Long's responsible. It's... You explain it.
Alright, so...
I'm trying to, take as much talking.
They're backstage playing with toys. And, the bunny's being, a diva. And not a lady wrestler, but the classical definition. A prima donna. And, Titus O'Neil and Heath Slater come backstage and make fun of them, and Adam Rose and the Bunny are like, tag team match. They have a tag team match. Bunny's in first, and he pins, I think it was Titus O'Neil.
No. Bunny was in first. Adam Rose tagged him out immediately. Adam Rose, wrestled for a while, got hurt, had to hot tag into the Bunny, and then the Bunny did some stuff, and then he was doing well. Adam Rose reached for the tag to finish off the match, and the Bunny didn't tag him one instead. The forlorn, lost, confused look on Adam Rose's face was honestly the best part of that match.
I love Adam Rose. This gimmick makes me upset because
it's a waste of Adam Rose.
You brought in this Euro trash Andrew WK, and you're immediately making him a heel.
Why? So you can sell Dragon?
Yeah, I mean,
You know what, though? There was another funny part. It had nothing to do with it. It was, again, the commentator team had gone completely fucking off the rails. JBL and Cole were talking about something the fuck else unrelated to the match. They were just having a conversation. And King, who can't stay on point to save his life, eventually had to go, there are some people out there who this might be their first WWE Pay-Per-View. Why don't we try and get them up to speed on why there's a bunny in the ring?
Which was funny enough, but to which Cole responds, well, it's not a real bunny, it's a guy in a bunny suit.
To which, I think it was JBL responds, really, Cole? Really?
Oh, man, listener, I'm so sorry you have to listen to my coughs.
I'm trying to take as much of the talking off you as I can.
I appreciate that.
But the bunny gets carried out by the Rosebuds.
Yeah, and Adam Rose is all dejected.
He's all sad and dejected. This is obviously heading for an eventual heel turn.
You know what? Honestly, Adam Rose is good enough that who cares? He's going to be awesome. He's going to do his own thing for a little while. They'll staple him to Wade Barrett after Wade Barrett comes back and does his own thing for a little while. Then there'll be an evil British tag team, and it'll be great. I do not fear for Adam Rose. I just don't. I don't care about this bunny. I cared about the bunny more when it was secretly Zack Ryder, but now it's not. So who cares? What's the point? Who is this bunny? Where are they going to go after that? Is he going to take it off and it's fucking, I don't know, one of the Sin Caras? Has it been Hornswoggle in there this whole time?
That would be awesome.
No, wait, I've got it. It's Larry Zbyszko.
Perfect. It's David Arquette.
What?
David Arquette.
Oh yeah, David Arquette. I like David Arquette. He's the voices with me.
Yeah.
This pay-per-view sorely lacked a Randy Orton, by the way.
Yeah, God, why? In what fucking bizarre universe do I live where I'm like, man, I wish Randy Orton was here. I hope Randy Orton shows up.
He got taken out during the whole build-up for the Survivor Series match, and
he's not. It's a kayfabe thing, so I imagine he just wants some time off. He's been working like a fucking workhorse for the last 2 years. I
was really expecting him to run down to the ring during the match and be like, Randy Orton for the save, team face go.
Because what team I hate you guys in specific. Okay, so the next match. The next match was Nikki Bella with her personal assistant, Brie Bella. And I desperately want to know, listener, that you understand the depths of my condescension with that. I feel like I didn't get it across. Know that the waters, they are deep and they are wide. Versus AJ Lee for the Divas title. This is the other fucking reason I'm salty about the stupid bunny match. This match was 10 seconds long. Maybe. What happens is a nod to the Daniel Bryan losing his title in 3 seconds a couple WrestleManias ago. AJ Lee's dancing around. Brie, in her official capacity as the personal assistant, grabs the Divas title, distracts AJ Lee, grabs her by the hair, kisses her to confuse her, and then when she turns around, Nikki does her ridiculous elbow, her sad little bull hammer, followed by the torture rack finisher that she has, which is get them up in torture rack and then don't have them there anymore. And then she wins. Done. That's it. That's all. That's all that fucking happened. That was the Divas title match. So we had to cut. We couldn't give the Divas title match room for like maybe a couple back and forths, maybe some wrestling before that, because you can do that setup anytime. You could have done that after 10 minutes a match. We had to cut time so that the fucking Adam Rose bunny bullshit could happen. From the Divas title match? Fucking really? I mean, Nikki Bella is fucking awful anyway. It wasn't going to be a good match, but...
Well, and, I mean, rumors have been circulating, and they've been circulating for a while, that AJ Lee is on her way out.
Which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, given her husband's relationship with the company, I never expected that to last very long.
And I mean, that's fine. I could think of, I don't know, a million people better to have the Divas title than one of the Bellas, but whatever.
They're over as fuck, so...
For whatever fucking reason.
Total Divas.
Yeah, probably. I mean...
no, it's Total Divas.
This is the part where I would say maybe I should watch it like I do about NXT, but no, I wouldn't like it. It's just not my kind of show.
It's the Real Housewives of WWE County. No thanks.
And I'm sure if I cared about these people, I might be curious, because I like Legends House, but I don't...
It's not even, though. Legends House has like half kayfabe. This is kayfabe. It is full.
So it's just a pretend story issued in reality show format without all the fun of other pretend stories issued in reality show format, poking fun at reality shows?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's full kayfabe because they're doing like a thing where they're saying the Bryans are going, they're having a lot of money troubles and they're worried about going bankrupt because Daniel hasn't been able to work, which is just... No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't believe you.
What is it about people who look like Daniel Bryan and not going bankrupt because nobody knows how money works in fictional universes?
Fucking for right?
Oh, man.
So...
Hashtag bones.
So...
Yeah, I agree. That was dumb. I was happy to see Adam Rose.
You know what? We've already given more time to this fucking match
than the match gave to itself. Yeah, let's move on.
Team Cena versus Team Authority. Cena being John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Big Show. Okay, Eric Rowan. I read that as Elric Rowan, and so many of you don't know why that's funny. And Ryback versus Team Authority, Seth Rollins, Kane, Mark Henry, Rusev, and Luke Harper. Which I like the Rowan Harper split. I like that.
Just a reverse of earlier. The Authority sweeps, just eliminates all 5 members of Team Cena, and that's that.
You know, I imagine they're going to Google that. I know your voice hurts, but just lying to the listener is not fair. It's actually, it's a good match. It was a Survivor Series match.
It wasn't as good as the first match.
I like the finish. I like the finish a lot.
Yeah, I like it in spirit. I think there's a lot of ways I could dislike it, but
I like the finish a lot. All right, so first 20 seconds of the match, Mark Henry's eliminated. He charged at the Big Show, knockout punch, 1, 2, 3, done. So that's. And here's why that's not a problem. And the Divas thing is, because when that happens to Mark Henry, I still have match to watch.
Well, and it's not for a title. Some of those eliminations are going to have to go kind of fast.
Yep, because they only got so much time. I honestly...
And Big Show's knockout punch has been sold as being a fucking knockout punch. We're talking about...
I don't think anyone's ever kicked out from that thing.
I have no idea. But we're talking about as though, okay, we use Mark Henry. He's had championship reigns. He's got the Hall of Pain. Let's say who's the Cape Town werewolf? Justin Gabriel.
Yeah.
Let's say Justin Gabriel, fucking one punch knocks out Mark Henry, pins him, and is the new champion. The new WWE World Heavyweight Champion of the world of WWE Wrestling of the world champion. Wrestling.
I'm pretty sure that's the official title now.
I think so too. I mean, like that's how fucking ridiculous this is.
It's just disrespectful to your title.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
I forget the order of the rest of the eliminations. Eventually,
it was pretty back and forth.
Yeah, it was pretty back and forth, pretty even, and pretty fair, to be honest. Eventually, they eliminate, and this is why I was going into this. I was incredibly concerned because I did not want them to give away Rusev's streak on this stupid fucking Survivor Series match. It is worth more than that booking-wise.
Yeah,
and they knew. They eliminated him via count-out after Triple H gave him an order that was stupid and not something Rusev would do. So it was Triple H's fault, and it was via count-out, which is fine. You can move past that. That's fine.
The commentators even drew attention to this, to their credit.
Yeah, drew attention to the fact that it was Triple H's fault. This is all Triple H is doing.
Honestly, other than a couple of snafus, the commentary was really great tonight.
For this match, for some of the upper card, it was fucking awful.
Oh, well, yeah, no, but I mean, just, in general.
They didn't give a fuck at all for that entire Divas match.
No, they did not.
But JBL was pretty good all night.
JBL.
Because even when he wasn't giving a fuck about the thing that was going on in the ring, he was funny.
Yeah.
JBL can be counted on to when he's not intentionally being annoying for the purposes of selling a gimmick, to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it's down to Dolph Ziggler, who's dead, just dead on the outside of the ring. Big Show and John Cena versus Kane, Seth Rollins, and Harper, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
like Harper just eliminated Rowan.
Yeah.
After a big fucking kerfluffle.
And that ended up, they use heel advantage, and they're not cheating exactly. Although there was one point when Seth Rollins did what he'd been doing the whole match, what he did during the Shield, which was fly in from the outside, murder people, and then fucking disappear. That's what he did in the Shield. That's what he'd been doing all night. He did it again, and then fucking Cole flipped his shit.
Like the referee didn't see it.
Take control, ref. This is ridiculous. You're allowing him to defy the rules. He fucking flipped his shit. It was even JBL was like, "Calm down, Michael."
Just a TV show, Michael. No one gives a fuck.
Jesus, Michael, calm down. But Big Show knocks John Cena the fuck out with his knockout punch. Goes over, shakes Triple H's hand, and leaves because, let's face it, Big Show turning on his team in a Survivor Series is far from anything new. It would have been more surprising if they hadn't done it. That's like his move.
I kind of liked it though because he looked at John Cena, who was winded. He looked at Dolph Ziggler, who was dead on the outside and had been for some time now. And he looked at the three perfectly fine gentlemen across the ring from him. He was like, you know what? Fuck it, I gotta eat.
But that's the Big Show's move. I mean, it's like, you know how every Royal Rumble you're going to see Kofi Kingston do some miraculous thing that ultimately doesn't end up winning him the match anyway? Well, every single Survivor Series that the Big Show is in, you're going to see him betray his team. That's his move. That's his shtick. It's ridiculous. But he does the thing. They pin John Cena because, again, Big Show's knockout punch is what it's fucking called. And then it's just Dolph Ziggler versus three dudes on the other side of the ring. And
Dolph Ziggler, I remind you, at this point, has been killed by Rusev.
And had been killed some 20 minutes beforehand.
And for the past month.
So they proceed to murder him and taunt him, and Seth Rollins has a really funny bit where he drags him all the way over to where the other team would be if there were any of them left, and waves his hands at the rope and goes, "Go on, Dolph! Tag your partners, Dolph! Tag your partner!" It was fully the equivalent of "stop hitting yourself."
Yeah, it was hilarious.
But they do the thing, and then Dolph Ziggler gets an elimination, just out of nowhere.
The first one was on a roll-up. I think he hit his finisher out of nowhere and eliminated.
It was still, there was no build-up. He just, bam, finisher. Zigzag. Out of nowhere, wins. Then, the authority's like, oh no, elimination. We still got 2 dudes. It's alright. You still got 2 dudes. Second, roll-up. Bam. And this is, by the way, this isn't in quick succession. There's like 10 minutes of him getting his ass kicked every time. Finishers, signature moves, like ridiculous bullshit top rope flying moves. He took all this punishment, kicked out every time. They were selling him like double John Cena. Like he would just get his ass completely destroyed for minutes, solid minutes at a time. And Dolph Ziggler's very good at that because he sells like a beast. And then he would, it'd be pin count, pin 1, 2, kick out. And he was full of ghosts. He was full of ghosts like The Undertaker is full of ghosts.
I wish our old WrestleMania live commentary was still up on the internet somewhere. When The Undertaker fought Triple H the second time, I think.
I believe it was the second time, I'm not sure.
Because the third time was when they fought in Cell, right?
Yeah, no, it was the second time.
Okay.
The first time in recent memory. The actual first time was years ago.
And every time Triple H thought he had him, Undertaker would get back up. And credit to fucking Paul. There's this look on his face every time Undertaker got back up. Especially after one point where he hit him with like 9 pedigrees and cut his arms and legs up with a chainsaw.
And then hit him with a tombstone pile driver.
And took his face and sold it on eBay and then came back and tried to do the pinfall and Undertaker still got up. Triple H scoots away and he's got this fucking raw look on his face like, he's full of ghosts. He's full of ghosts. There's no way he could do this, is what I said.
He's officially not human anymore. He's a spirit avenger.
Officially full of ghosts. Officially full of ghosts has become our catchphrase for this guy cannot be beaten. We usually reserve it for supernatural themed wrestlers like fucking Bray Wyatt or
Bray Wyatt. John Cena goes for his 5-knuckle shuffle, bounces off the ropes. Bray Wyatt is doing his fucking crab walk suddenly, officially full of ghosts.
Yeah. Oh, he's officially full of ghosts. I can't hit that. That's a ghost. How do I fight ghosts? So this whole time, the absurd shit. And Boy said, this is John Cena stuff. They're doing Dolph Ziggler like they do John Cena. No, fuck you. John Cena doesn't kick out of 99 power bombs. He doesn't. He doesn't fucking do top spins out of fucking pinfalls after the 10th attempt after being beaten to death by 5 guys, burgers and fries. This man is full of ghosts.
And that became a thing. And Triple H was selling it out in the ringside.
Yeah, he was doing the face. He was doing the ghosts are back.
He's full of ghosts. And then eventually it transitioned into, okay, he's full of ghosts. I understand that. Why? Why is he full of ghosts? Why is he, in particular, full of ghosts?
And I'm not putting you on. Those of you who watch the show knows what happens, whatever. I am not fucking with you. This is our live commentary through the whole thing. We're like, but why is he full of ghosts? Someone divine the secret. I have accepted it. One of you needs to be Brock Lesnar and make him not full of ghosts anymore. Worked great last time. Let's see if we can do it here.
Yeah, Harper, just be Brock Lesnar. It's fine.
Just do a little dance back and forth and then laugh at him, point and laugh. And suplex him a million times.
It's how you exercise wrestling goes.
Yeah, it's fine. I've seen this shit before. But why? Why is he full of ghosts?
So eventually, Ziggler...
It's Ziggler and Rollins.
Yeah, down to Ziggler and Rollins. Ziggler comes back, does his miracle comeback one more time, ends up getting the zigzag off on Rollins, and Triple H
drags the ref
out of the ring, and then knocks him the fuck out.
And then kicks him in the butt a few times for good measure.
Like, hey, how dare you try and make me lose the match? Fuck you, you fuck.
Not even like really hard kicks him in the ass, just like a couple of Italian boots right to his tushy.
Like, disdainfully, like, you get out of my way. Like a very privileged man might kick a homeless person. Then they...
Another referee has the temerity to come down and try to count.
And Dolph Ziggler gets another amazing finisher off. And he goes 1 and 2, and Triple H flies in from outside the ring with a flying elbow drop. And then proceeds to fucking beat the shit out of this referee. This referee has insulted his family, okay?
So H hulks out. He tears off his clothes and gets naked, and
then does the pedigree on Dolph and throws Rollins over, and
calls down for his pet scab,
his pet crooked referee, and then the lights drop, and crows. And the long-awaited rumor, the long-awaited, swirling sort of, is it going to happen, is it not going to happen? Sting shows up. Sting shows up, and the audience is loud, not as loud as I was expecting.
I think they were just tired by that point. So much shit had happened. Emotionally exhausted. It was the looks on their faces, though. All those expressions after The Undertaker lost? That but happy.
Yeah, the abject horror became abject joy from everyone who knew what Sting was.
Yeah, I mean,
some of the young kids in the audience were like,
There were people's faces, they didn't know what to do with themselves. When you're so excited that you can't decide what to do, so you just start picking up random objects and putting them back down. If there were objects at ringside, those motherfuckers would have been doing that.
I saw one guy, try and lift a sign, and then he just, dropped it.
What's the point? Sting is here.
I don't even know what to do. So they do, a stare down for a few minutes, and then Triple H tries to attack Sting. That doesn't happen. Sting drops him.
Sting just fucking is nope.
Dodge, and then Sting drops him. And then pulls Rollins off of Ziggler, puts Ziggler on Rollins, and leaves. One of the dead referees comes back to life and slides in, counts the pin. Ziggler wins. Authority gone bye-bye forever.
There's a long play out where Steph wails and gnashes her teeth, and Triple H is just sitting there.
Letting the audience really absorb it. By the way, I'm sure you can guess that this is the joke we made, but this whole time we've been going, why is he full of ghosts? Why? Triple H is so confused, and then Sting shows up, and then the joke is, oh, that's why he's full of ghosts. Sting was using his ghost magic to power him.
Sting gave him ghosts. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Sting's always been full of ghosts, even when he was a surfer, and it didn't make any sense. He was full of ghosts back then, too.
And that was the look on Paul's face. He was like, oh. He was understanding dawned on his face. Oh, this Sting. I understand now.
The post-match thing, Steph is running her motor mouth. Triple H isn't saying a word.
And he's looking around.
Which, when Sting came down, and I love this too, they're just staring at each other, and Triple H isn't saying anything. Sting's not saying anything. Nothing. Obviously you can't usually hear it, but their lips aren't moving, Until Triple H finally goes, what the fuck are you doing here? They cut away from it pretty quick, but not quick enough.
Just slow enough that you understood that's what the question was.
Triple H is what the fuck are you doing here? Oh, alright, but, so Triple H gets up, Steph's running her mouth and in denial and all this shit. And Triple H has just got this look on his face did anybody else see Sting?
Did I hallucinate Sting?
Did you guys... okay, yeah, no, hey, goodbye. Did you guys see Sting?
It's very important to me that you all saw Sting. Stephen, did you see Sting? No, you didn't see Sting.
They started doing the yes chant, so he nodded okay, good, you saw Sting.
That's good. All
right.
But he still has this confused look on his face, where'd Sting go? And he's just, he's not saying anything. He's just
looking around, and Steph's freaking out going into histrionics, and then she notices he's looking around, so she looks around too. But there's a look on her face she's not sure why they're looking around.
Oh, it was very quiet acting on the part of the McMahons.
Oh, it was good.
The Levesques, I suppose. And it was really funny. Yeah. It was a good finish. It was a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little ridiculous, but it was fun ridiculous. That was the right way to do ridiculous. If you don't like Dolph Ziggler, you're gonna fucking hate it. I thought it was a great thing.
Oh God, yeah, no, I know there are a couple people I follow on Twitter who fucking hate Dolph Ziggler. Hate him. I am waiting. As soon as this podcast is over, I'm going to go. I'm going to look at that Twitter. Because I want to know what the reaction was.
But, I thought it was a good way to legitimize Ziggler again. After burying him for 9 years.
9 years underneath an entire building.
Yeah.
He had actually been buried underneath Lambeau Field since the mid-1940s.
Mark Henry was sitting on top of it eating a sandwich that he was dipping into a can of beans and heavy cream.
But it's a good push for Ziggler.
Yeah.
Which is well-deserved. Guy's the hardest fucking working guy in the locker room.
Now, again, my voice is shot and he's tired, so I'll keep this brief. We're almost at the hour mark anyway. Woohoo. Where do we go from here? There's a lot of avenues. I don't want to try to tread them all. There are a couple things I want to point out. One, Cena left after he was eliminated and never came back.
No, he came back at the very end once the match was over.
For hugs.
To hug Dolph and hold his hand up like, look, this guy did the wins. He won. But he didn't try and stay around. He didn't make it about Cena. He fucked off and let it be about Dolph.
Yeah. Now, A, that's a good thing. Let it be about Dolph. B, the stipulation of this is the only person who can reinstate the authority is Cena. Weird way to tease a Cena heel turn. I mean, more than you've already turned him heel. Like, heel in the eyes of the announcers.
It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen.
No, I just think, I wonder where they're going with this.
What's probably going to happen is an even greater evil is going to take over. Like Brock Lesnar is going to get to be in charge of the WWE. And he's just going to, like, eat people and drag them off to his cave and...
His ice barrel.
His ice barrel.
He does not have a cave.
His ice barrel. Drag them under the icy, briny depths with him. He's, again, more and more sounding like Godzilla. But it's just... And then Cena's eventually going to have to buckle and pick the lesser of two evils and bring the authority back so as to get rid of Brock Lesnar or, I don't know, the fucking Super Devil. Whoever it
I'm
is.
kind of hoping that Sting does a stint as GM. I liked Joker Sting as GM in TNA for as short-lived as that was.
He was having a good time with it as well.
Yeah, it was fun. And,
Sting's a funny fucking guy when he's having a good time.
Yeah, he is. I really like that Joker Sting gimmick. I thought that was great. I don't expect to see it here, and I don't really want to either. It needs build. It needs a presence. But, yeah. I'll be... our cable box is kind of a weird situation right now, so I don't know if I'll be able to catch tomorrow's show, but...
You know what? I'm all right with missing Larry the Cable Guy. Another thing I wanted to cover was there was an announcement by the man himself, a little over a month, Roman Reigns is back.
Yeah, that's great. That was the other thing I was talking about.
Which is super good. It means they have another main event face they can push. Yep. And also means that he'll probably be back in time for the Rumble, which, as I said to Spork when I found out he was coming back, if there's any justice in the universe, he will win this Royal Rumble. Which means, of course, that he will not.
You know what, though? If he doesn't, I hope that Kofi Kingston wins.
I'll take Kofi Kingston winning the Royal Rumble. I don't care if his match at WrestleMania lasts 15 fucking seconds. Kofi Kingston deserves to win a Royal Rumble. Motherfucker, he has put in the most entertaining performances in those matches for years.
And he told me about white chocolate peanut butter. Kofi Kingston, I love you. This is delicious.
He's literally holding the white chocolate peanut butter and pointing it at the screen like you can see it.
Look at it. No, he mentioned on his Twitter. I used to follow him on Twitter. I don't remember why I stopped. Probably because he just talks to fans all the time, and I don't give a shit about what his fans have to say to him. It's like, it's one thing when I can turn off your retweets and I don't have to see that shit, but it's another thing when you're like, okay, copy tweet. Look, everyone. No, come on. But before he did that, he was talking about this white chocolate peanut butter he eats, and I'm like, that's a thing? He's like, yeah. So I'm like, sweet. Fast forward like 6 months, and I come home with a fucking jar of white chocolate peanut butter, and I'm like, I posted a conversation I had with my wife, and I was like, hey, I got that peanut butter that Kofi Kingston told me about. Fucking Kofi Kingston's like, yeah, I'm glad you got it. I don't even follow the guy anymore. He was just like, the peanut butter story is complete. Oh, it was funny to me.
It's funny to me, too.
Yeah, but it's good peanut butter. That's, what's the brand here? I'm going to shill some fucking peanut butter. Whatever, if they could be my sponsor, I would get paid in peanut butter. Peanut Butter and Company.
Paid in peanut butter.
Peanut Butter and Company since 1998. The White Chocolate Wonderful has a picture of an angel monkey on it.
All right, so
I bought it at Walmart.
I'm gonna cut this off before he starts shilling for other random items. Do you want to shill for some Easy Cheese?
No, fuck Easy Cheese. White Chocolate Peanut Butter by Peanut Butter Company.
This has actually been a pretty fun pay-per-view. It's been a fun podcast, surprisingly. Maybe it's because I'm slap happy.
Shit.
But we shall see you again next week, listener. Until then, remember everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Like white chocolate peanut butter.
Why you gotta get in the last word?
Fuck it, let's get hardcore! Blood, pain, we're all insane. Suffer head trauma.